Introducing the all-new 251 electric range at Hugo Luna Motors. See our Peugeot E2008, now available in electric. This bold SUV boasts a striking design with sleek LED headlamps and a redesigned grille for a powerful presence. With zero CO2 emissions and 156 HP of power, the E2008 delivers efficiency and performance. Discover more at hugolunamotors.ie. Drive the future today.
Saturday View. With thanks to Lumcloon Energy, pioneering innovation, powering progress. LumcloonEnergy.com. Call 0818 300 103. Text or WhatsApp your Saturday View to 083 3010 103.
Hello and a very happy Saturday to you. Ronan Berry here, Midlands 103. So it's time for Saturday View. Coming up over the next hour, an absolute musical treat coming up towards the end of the show. We're going to have some absolutely fantastic musicians in studio. It's all linked to Tullamore Tradfest, and Tradfest is something that has really taken off over the past couple of years. We'll learn more about the event, because there's a seriously high quality lineup of musicians and workshops and events taking place around Tullamore and other Midlands towns. So it's becoming a festival that's growing in stature and popularity over the last couple of years. So really looking forward to that to close us out today. Also, we often hear of being prescribed something as a task that's done by a doctor or maybe a pharmacist or somebody in the medical profession, but there are people out there who can prescribe social activities for you. And this links into conversations we've had on Saturday View over the past year or so, where things like isolation and loneliness, irrespective of a person's gender, their age, their social status, it seems to be a prevalent issue. There are lots of activities, lots of clubs, lots of organisations, lots of groups of people just coming together around the Midlands. Now there are services there that can link people with those as well, because often can't that be a big challenge? We want to go and we say, I used to do this, or I was once involved in that, or I'd love to get involved in such a thing, and we're often hesitant and shy about making that initial contact. And usually if it happens, the group, the other side, are more than welcoming and willing to have you as part of their group, but that initial contact or being made aware of what's out there can be that biggest hurdle and can prevent people from taking that next step. So we're going to find out what social prescribing is, meet two people who are social prescribers, talk about what they do and how they can help support people right across our community. That and lots more coming up on Saturday View. If you want to join the conversation today, as always, you can get me here in the studio by text or WhatsApp on 083 3010 103, or you can give us a call on 0818 300 103 either, and we're always happy to take your views and get them out on air. Before that though, tomorrow is of course Mother's Day, and many options and many ideas for gifts, and I'm going to put my call out to you people of the Midlands today. Tell me, what would your ideal gift be for Mother's Day? Let it be Midlands based, from one of the brilliant retailers, one of the brilliant producers, craft product producers, food producers, drink producers, service providers. So what would your ideal Mother's Day present be across the Midlands? We have so many options, one of which, if we go to Mullingar, is the Mullingar gift card. Now, this is a phenomenal story because over 2.5 million euros has been generated for the local economy since the scheme first began. And there was a major launch yesterday because they've moved away from the more paper-based format into digital format now, bringing it right up to speed with times. But 2.5 million euros back into the local economy is no mean feat. To find out more about the gift card and yesterday's launch and how it could be that ideal gift for, if you're listening and you haven't got that Mother's Day present sorted out just yet, this could be something for you. But James Burke is president of Mullingar Chamber. Very good morning, James.
Good morning, Ronan. Thanks so much for having me on.
James, you had a big launch in Mullingar yesterday of the kind of new version of the Mullingar voucher, but just give us a little snippet of the background. 2.5 million, that's a huge amount of money to keep in the town.
Absolutely, yeah. And I suppose it comes in alongside the shop local theory that for every euro that's spent in a shop locally, it's worth €4 to the local economy. So if you take the mathematics in this, we have, I suppose, benefited our local economy here in Mullingar into the tune of 10 million euros. So it really is beneficial to the local shops and, of course, to the shoppers as well, that it's given them a huge wide variety for places that they can go and redeem the vouchers as well.
So it started in 2012, very, very much in that kind of traditional paper-based format. But yesterday you had a launch because you've kind of really revolutionised it and taken it up to 2025 standards. Tell us about yesterday's launch.
Yeah, we were delighted to gather in the Greville Arms Hotel here in the main street in Mullingar. We had over 40 retailers present there to, I suppose, celebrate the launch of this gift card, which for us at Mullingar Chamber has been a long time coming. But also there was, I suppose, a bit of a Q&A session and an opportunity for retailers to ask questions and different things like that. And also we were delighted to have Minister for Enterprise, Tourism and Employment, local man here, Peter Burke, in to help us officially launch the event as well. So it was a lovely gathering all together to celebrate our new gift card. This, as I said, has been a very long time coming. We've been in the planning stages for up on 12 months on this, getting this scheme up and running. Our previous scheme, the paper scheme, although it had huge success, there were a number of drawbacks to it. There was a lot of admin side of it for Mullingar Chamber first and foremost, which meant that we had to present a 1.5% commission charge to our retailers. Within our new scheme, once the business in question is part of Mullingar Chamber, there is zero commission to the retailer. We understand that retail is very difficult at the moment, and it's something that I've spoken to both you and with Will on previous occasions. But with retail being so difficult, we want to have one less burden there for retailers that when they're redeeming these vouchers, it will be done at zero commission to Chamber members.
That can be hugely welcomed, and it's a highly commendable move too, because there are tax breaks too for employers if they want to reward employees on this. There's so many options with it, and having that at 0% commission is going to make a huge difference because, as you say, it's keeping that money in the town. And in the last couple of years, there has been I'd say a large growth in companies using things like gift cards, electronic cards to reward employees in particular, or club members maybe who have gone above and beyond. So you're keeping up with the times and making it even easier for people to keep that money right in the centre of Mullingar.
Yeah, exactly. And under Budget 2025, the limit on that small benefit tax exemption was increased to €1,500, which meaning that employers can give even more now to their employees. And I'd like to think that businesses locally that have really supported this so far, that they will get on board with the new scheme as well. We've also streamlined this for employers that they can go through a corporate ordering site, so it can be all delivered straight out to them directly. So it's much more streamlined than all the rest of it. But this really is the perfect gift. You can get everything from your haircut to get your tyres changed in this scheme. There's a huge amount of different places you can spend it. At the peak in the last paper scheme, we had 105 different retailers. We're up to 70 already on our new scheme, with more to be onboarded shortly. So we'll be hoping to break that number. And I suppose our initial goal with this as well, that we want to drive on. We sold 500,000 worth of vouchers last year alone out of that 2.5 million. So we want to drive on. We have big plans here in Mullingar. We want to try and hit the million in our first full year of operation as well. Mm-hmm. But there is a number of benefits, I suppose, as well to the shopper, to the consumer. Obviously, the card scheme is easier than the paper. It's easier to keep your denominations together rather than a breakdown of different individual notes. As well, there is integration there into a digital card, which is available to use with your Apple Pay or your Google Pay as well. So you can tap and go as we all do now with our different cards and all the rest of it. And another great feature we have is our preloaded or our unloaded cards, I should say. You can grab our unloaded envelopes at a couple of different places around Mullingar. They're blank. You can scan the back of them and use them as you want. So if you have got a grandchild's birthday coming up, you can load the back of the card, give them the card, then it's activated within a couple of hours and all that. So it's much more convenient for people to get their hands on these. And as well, of course, you can purchase them online through mullingarchamber.ie.
Simple. And of course, you've made it really a year-round thing too. It's a bit like the breakfast cereal years ago. It's not just a morning thing. It can be a nighttime snack. These aren't just Christmas or looking to reward employees at the end of the year or whoever it might be. It can be any occasion, any event. It's absolutely fantastic. A great example of what can be done. And no doubt it could be used maybe to put a deposit on a new Skoda or Volkswagen too.
Yeah, we'll take them here as well at Mullingar. That's no problem at all.
I'm sure you will. James, great work again from Mullingar Chamber, and thanks for the update, and talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Ronan. Thank you.
That's James Burke there, President of Mullingar Chamber, and of course Mullingar Auto, Skoda and Volkswagen too. So yeah, really no end as to the options that you can have in Mullingar. And even though it's such a huge scheme already, you get the sense from James there, it really is only beginning to take off. So great example of what is being done around the town. Quick break. After that, we're going to meet two social prescribers.
Saturday View, with thanks to Lumclume Energy, pioneering innovation, powering progress. lumclumeenergy.com.
Coming up very shortly on Saturday View, some musicians and representative of Tullamore Tradfest will be in studio to play out with some live music and tell us all about the event that's taking place very, very shortly. But before that, if we think of prescribing, we generally think of a GP or somebody in the medical profession, or maybe a pharmacist, but we never think about it from a social aspect. Somebody that will prescribe for us different activities, groups, voluntary groups, charity groups, whatever it might be, those hikes, those walks, those runs, those coffee mornings, all these things that are happening around the Midlands. But there are people out there who are qualified as social prescribers, and two of them are sitting in front of me in the studio now. Joanne Nocton is based in Athlone and Michelle Quinn is based in Offaly. Very good morning, Joanne and Michelle.
Morning, Ronan.
So I suppose we'll start, whoever wants to take it. Social prescribing, what is it?
Yeah,
Joanne?
So I'll take that one, Ronan. So social prescribing, basically, it's a programme that supports people to access social groups and activities like the ones you just mentioned. It's very much a supportive piece. So, we work one-to-one with individuals to identify what they want in their social life, what connections that they would like to have, and then we support them to access those. So I suppose Michelle and I are very aware of the different groups, activities and programmes that are happening around the towns and areas that we work in. And when we meet people, we're very mindful of those and linking them in with those groups and activities. And it's all aimed at enhancing a person's well-being. So the idea that making those social connections, meeting others and getting out of the house, a couple of times a week can really have a positive impact on a person's overall health.
And of course, this links right back to a piece I did about 3 weeks ago with Seamus Boland from Irish Rural Link, and we were talking about the lack of, or the loss of social connection that many people are experiencing, particularly that kind of in-person connections too. And actually, Michelle texted me after that show and said, look, we have a social prescribing service around the Midlands now, and that is an important one to bring people's attention to. Michelle, how do people get referred to a social prescriber then?
So referrals can be made from GPs or health professionals. So when people see their GP or health professional, there's 20%, I think, of people who see their GP who are presenting with non-medical needs. So a lot of their issues can be social in nature. So the GP can refer them on by letter. We have a referral form, but people can self-refer as well. So we get a lot of people who just hear about social prescribing and contact us directly, or family and friends can refer in. So it can be a simple phone call, or we get a referral form from a healthcare professional. What's
the process then if somebody self-refers or gets, asked, maybe instructed by a GP or whoever it might be, a healthcare professional, to go and seek out a social prescriber? What happens next?
Yeah, so usually what we will do is we will make contact with the person. So it's very important, I suppose, that when we get a referral, that the referrer has gotten the consent to share contact details with us. We will make contact with the individual, and the best thing to do is to arrange a meeting with the person if you can at all. So and it's all about having that initial conversation. We try and have the meetings in a place that's accessible to people. So it might be in the offices. I'm based in the primary care centre in Athlone a couple of days a week, so I meet people there. And also we can meet people for coffee or in a hotel lobby, wherever a person can get to, because it's all about, of course, making the service accessible. And then we have the chat and we find out, what do you want? It's really about what matters to the person, where they're at in terms of their life, and what would they like to see for themselves at that time. And then with our knowledge about what's available within the community, we can start to make suggestions about things they might get involved in, and we can look at and explore that and make a personal plan with the individual at the time. And then we do things like maybe go along to a group with somebody if they need that extra little bit of support. We've gone to, the first sessions with people. That really helps them, I suppose, to get through the door for that first meeting, which can be daunting to somebody if they have a long-term health condition, or, if they have been isolated or haven't been out in some time. So we can give them that little bit of one-to-one support to do that. And then we kind of stay linked in with a person. We continue to check in with them to see how those social connections are going for them. If there's other challenges and barriers that are coming up for them that we can help them to overcome. If they have been referred, we may link back in with the referrer and continue that open conversation with the referrer, so that we are looking at a holistic approach to the person's health. And eventually then the idea is that somebody gets to a stage where they're very comfortable and happy to continue on within these social groups or activities themselves, and then we can take a step back from them. Obviously, a person can re-engage then at any time, and that's really important for them to know, that if somebody feels that, for whatever reason, maybe those connections break at any point or take a slump, that they're very, very welcome to reconnect with us, and that we can start that support process all over again.
Fantastic. What really jumped out there is you're not just a referral service, because you could probably set up a website that would have all the groups listed on it, but still, I think the most confident people, the most self-assured people will often struggle at that first interaction with a new group of people. And it's nearly always the opposite. Like a group is usually really welcoming and looking for more people as well. But like Michelle, we can talk about like social connectivity and maybe isolation, but this has been documented quite recently. Like 5 years ago, we were all in the midst of talking about public health issues and protecting each other and flattening curves and all that. But loneliness has been recognised internationally now as an actual public health issue. So what are you seeing on a daily basis in terms of being social prescribers and loneliness as that public health issue?
Yeah, so some people who come along to us just through different circumstances find themselves in a situation where they're isolated, just have lost contact with people. It could be through a bereavement, maybe a loss of a partner, relationship breakdown, loss of a job, mental health issues. So it can get easy for people to get stuck in that rut and just don't know where to go, or having that confidence to link in with a group. So it's just discussing with them where they're at and what we can do to help.
And I guess with each person it can be different as well. You could be kind of reconnecting them with a hobby or a skill set they had, maybe in their early days, in their younger days, or you could be finding them something entirely new. And maybe, I'm sure there's a huge variety of stuff out there that's really easy to access, easy to become part of, because I think sometimes we all think we have to be an expert in something to join a group, and I think that's probably not the case.
Absolutely. It's just, exploring the options out there. And like that, it's re-engaging with something. We'll talk to someone about, well, what did you used to enjoy? What brings you or makes you happy? What's your passion type of thing? And people often say, I used to love painting, or I used to play guitar years ago, but I gave it up. So it's just looking at options that they can re-engage with that, find something that they really enjoy and can connect with, and then through that can connect with other people of similar interests.
And there's a myriad of groups out there too, and a lot maybe who are doing great stuff, but they mightn't be promoting it on social media because it's really about people as well. How do you go, Joanne, about finding those groups too, and knowing, because it's a big task for you to know exactly what's happening where and how to connect with them.
Yeah, and absolutely. And what we see a lot in the community is that programs start and then they end. So they may have, a particular duration, and then they end and something new will start. So I suppose one of the big parts of our role is to keep linked in with those organisations that provide these programs within the community. So, for example, the local libraries are a really good place to find out, what's happening. There's lots of groups and workshops and programs that run within the libraries. Also, the local training centres, family resource centres, or the development companies, the development partnerships. So it's to really, I suppose for us, we have open communication with them and ongoing communication, that they're always kind of keeping us up to date, and we're checking in with them about, what's happening at the moment or what's coming up, that I can link people in with. And just to kind of keep on top of that. And social media as well, I suppose we have an eye on social media all the time to try and keep up to date with the different programmes and workshops and that's happening. And the sports centres, there's a lot of different social sporting activities and social sporting groups as well. So
I've just got a text in from Denise in Offaly Sports Partnership, and it's a huge text. They have a load of stuff running, kind of fitness classes for people of all different levels, including kind of a form of indoor bowls. So Denise has said, look, if anybody wants to get in touch, they can give her a call on 086 791 2513. They're running events across all kind of, loads of community centres around Offaly, Killy, Ballycumber, Dangan, Belmont as well. So definitely, and social walk in Durrows on Tuesday from 11:30 to 12:30. So that's just a little snippet of what's happening with one organisation, and that's fantastic. Are there any particular stories, without mentioning people, that really caught your, really kind of made you feel, wow, this is why I'm in this role? Like, I'm sure you've made great connections for people.
I suppose one lady in particular, just when I met her, just really down, suffered with anxiety, just really didn't know where to go for help, and the thought of going into a group just terrified her. So it was just looking at maybe linking her with a small group of people initially, just for that, maybe tea and biscuits and chat and that sort of thing. And then she, through conversation, I kind of said, I've always wanted to learn how to crochet, but, wouldn't know where to start. So Offaly Local Development had a kind of a crochet and craft group. And I said, well, look, come along to this and see how you get on. Now, at the start, she was kind of, this is harder than I thought. And but with a bit of help from and encouragement from the other members of the group, she started. And a year later, I was in touch with her, and she's sitting there crocheting fantastic scarves, blankets, that sort of thing. And from that, just making the connection with other people, she heard about other things going on in the community and linked in with social groups and walks and that sort of thing, an art group as well. So just to see people blossom just from that simple connection,
and it really kind of you can see that then, that you have that whole piece, you're following up with people, you're keeping engaged. It's not just here's a number, ring them and go from there. Of course, when it comes down to it though, Joanne, stuff like these programmes, they need sectoral support, they need government backing as well. Are the roles being funded? Are there any calls for additional funding? Because it sounds like a service that will be developed and increased around the Midlands region.
Yeah, I suppose the funding for the social prescribing link worker programmes come from different sources around the country. So in Athlone, we're a Sláintecare Healthy Communities funded programme. So we come under the Sláintecare programme, and it's funded by the HSE. But I suppose one thing is that I cover Athlone, and my remit is Athlone, and it doesn't stretch beyond Athlone into the wider county. And there's definitely, and I've identified a huge need for more social prescribing services in Westmeath. Mullingar is a huge town as well, and they certainly could do with the support of a social prescribing link worker in Mullingar. So I would certainly love to see more social prescribing link workers that would be able to cover a county remit when it comes to Westmeath anyway.
Yeah, and then from my point of view, my position is funded by the HSE, but I'm employed by Offaly Local Development Company. But if we're linking people in with activities, we don't have any funding as such. So I need to link with, say, our social inclusion team to run activities. So it would be great to have extra funding available for specific people, to link them into specific groups.
Well, for anyone listening that would like, maybe could be feeling isolated or is just kind of putting off getting in touch with a particular group up there, and they want to get in touch with yourselves and your services individually, how can they get in touch? I suppose, Joanne, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so as I said, I'm based with Athlone Family Resource Centre, so you can find me there. But what I would say to somebody is just try and pick up the phone and get in touch, even if you feel that that's a really hard step or a big step for you to make. because we can just open up the conversation from there. So you can give me a ring. You can text if you don't feel like ringing. You can text the mobile number and I'll get back in contact with the individual. You can call into the Family Resource Centre in Athlone, which is on O'Connell Street in Athlone town. But my phone number is 085 852 9019. And I would urge people, if they feel like they could do with the support of the service, to ring or text me, and I'd be delighted to follow up with them.
And Michelle, for yourself in Offaly?
And I'm based in Offaly Local Development Company, and I'm based in Millennium House there, Main Street. So again, people can drop in or contact the office there. Or my mobile number is 087 747 0562.
Perfect. Well, look, at anyone listening there, if you're thinking of making that call, I can absolutely tell you there's two people that would be a great point to start with too, and maybe link you back with an old hobby or an old group, or people maybe that you think, maybe I'm gone past it for this, or maybe they won't want me. I can absolutely reassure you, it's the complete opposite of that. Fantastic service. Joanne and Michelle, thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Thank you very much.
Now, time for me to take a very short break. After that, we're going to have some live Irish music.
Surprise yourself with the all-new 251 Suzuki range at Hugo Luna Motors. Suzuki's Japanese quality is ready to stand out and make you feel proud every time you drive. Whether it's the zippy Swift or the adventure-ready S-Cross, enjoy 0% finance, handy tech, safety features and great value as standard. All wrapped in the fun and efficiency of a hybrid. The only tough part? Choosing which car to drive. Visit HugoLunaMotors.ie today, where we're not just different, we're good different. Finance subject to status, terms and conditions apply.
Saturday View, with thanks to Lumclume Energy, pioneering innovation, powering progress. LumclumeEnergy.com.
Tullamore Tradfest is that annual celebration of traditional Irish music, dance and culture. It's held in Tullamore, County Offaly. The 2025 festival is scheduled for Saturday, April the 12th. Here's a little snippet of what you'll hear. just been listening to a group there, and Brian McDade, who's one of the people behind Tullamore Tradfest. Brian, introduced the group to us.
Yeah, so that was Lillian Nolan, Polly Nolan, Lucy Molloy and Jack Higgins. So the guys actually played, I believe, last weekend up in the National Concert Hall.
Fantastic. And what listeners won't know yet is these are actually a very young band as well. Average age, I'm even going to hazard a guess.
I'd say if you add up all their age, it's probably around my age, actually, to be honest.
When you add them up now, No, well done. The National Concert Hall recently, that was a fair achievement.
Say word, Jack, and just say.
What was that like, Jack?
It was good old crack. It was fairly scary at first. We started off with the sound checker around 12 o'clock and it was fairly like you just be looking out and there's no one in the audience. It was fairly scary. But then as the day went on and it started, the crowd to fill up around 7 o'clock and we played, it was grand. Like we just enjoyed it and we had good old crack playing.
Brilliant stuff. Well, and I have to say, like in Fair Play League, they literally had to run in during the ad break there, set up, and we were all around the place moving chairs. And to tune up like that and play that exceptionally was brilliant. We'll hear more from the group. What's the group's name, by the way?
Be Over. We got this name because my mother actually came up with it because we're lively, so that's why we came up with that. She said we're lively musicians.
Fantastic. And you're coming from kind of Kinnity, Camross, Ballyboy area as well, so kind of really rooted in as well. So
and then other members that aren't here today is Kai Conroy, she plays harp, she's from Portlaoise Cultus, and then Fiona Leamy, she plays concertina, she's from Ballyboy. Then we've Anya Kinsella, she's from Burren, she's now playing with Camross Cultus, she plays fiddle. And then we've Fionn Dalton, and he normally plays the banjo and the mandolin, and he can't be here today unfortunately too. So yeah, that's our 8 members.
We'll say a big shout out to them as well. I can see now why lively, alright, where it's coming from. There's no bother. Well done. We're going to hear more from you in a couple of minutes. Brian, you have a bumper lineup of musicians, of events, of concerts, of everything, workshops for Tullamore Tradfest.
For the weekend, yeah. So it'll be fairly lively now for the weekend, to be honest. You know, starting off on the Friday night, we have a concert in the Bridge House with Michael McGoldrick and Tim Eady and Desi Donnelly. There'll be 3 big names in the trad world, but they're all Manchester guys actually. They're coming over for the weekend. Mike plays with the Dire Straits with Mark Knopfler's band. Tim has played and toured with the Chieftains, and Desi would have been in Sharon Shannon's band for many years, and so that'll be a big night. And it's supported by local musicians. I think Emer Buckley, Amy Murphy, Claire Ann Cairns, Grace and Caitlin Corrigan, Grace Minnock and Laura Callahan as well would say they're opening the show for us on that night. So lots going on over the weekend as well. You know, there's lots of pub sessions going on, and a lot of musicians coming in for the weekend, coming from everywhere. I think Tommy has a list going around of where they're coming in from. There's lots.
Yeah, so you have over 40 sessions, 13 venues, and over 100 musicians on the session trail, including these guys here. Yeah. So you get to catch these guys again twice over the weekend. So just a really fun filled weekend ahead.
And we've workshops as well then Saturday morning.
Yeah, you're aiming to take it from those that kind of internationally acclaimed musicians who played in the National Concert Hall, of course, but right down to people who are just beginning or want to pick an instrument up for the first time. There's something for everyone over the weekend.
Absolutely, that's the beauty about it. And we have an awful lot of free events as well too for all the family to enjoy. We have 2 days of entertainment in the Bridge Centre, and we also have a gig rig in O'Connor Square on the Sunday. So there is literally something for everybody. Feel free to call into town, ramble around throughout the town. You'll find a session, you'll find a workshop, you'll find something. And also then, as regards inclusivity, we have kind of a neurodivergent and inclusive session in Tullamore Library as well too. Check out the website for details of that, and a couple of taster experiences thanks to Music Generation Awfully. So if you want to try the pipes, or you want to try the bouzouki, or if you want to try, what's the last one, the harp, again, go to the website tullamoretradfest.com, book in, all free.
And for some of those bigger events, are they ticketed? Like, do you have to book for them all, or are there ones that you can rock up for?
There are tickets available on, as Tommy says, on the website. And you know, we have a concert on, as I said, on Friday night. We also have a concert on Saturday afternoon with the McKenna family, which are a class family from the north. They're a Tyrone group, and they're class, and they're supported by locals. I think they're Ballyboy, the Dooley's family, Nisha, Maeve, and Aoife Dooley. So, and there's the ensemble group that are playing. Will be doing the workshops during the day. They will also showcase on that concert as well.
Yeah, and again, that's a family friendly time at 5 p.m. in the Bridge House in Tullamore, and there's a family price ticket as well too. So it's 20 people for a family ticket. Bring as many as you want. Yeah.
So and we're trying to bring everybody in town. Like, hopefully we'll get a lot of locals out on the weekend, but also the town will be packed. I think the accommodation is kind of sold out in Tullamore for the weekend. So if anybody's any rooms, don't be afraid to offer people to come in.
Somewhere to pitch a tent or pull up in a camper van or that. But I remember last year just walking around town and the amount of particularly young musicians going around with instruments on their back or under their arms. It really was a sight to behold. When did it all start, Tommy?
We got going in 2019. This is our 5th year now. We had a couple of mishaps, obviously, with COVID, and we had one online one. But this is our 5th year. And again, like, we're hugely grateful to everyone that has supported us since the beginning. We've a huge number of supporters, funders, sponsors, you name it, and we appreciate them all kind of hugely. From Board Namona to the Ashley Murphy Fund to the Credit Union to Music Generation Offaly to LOE-TV and the JCYP Fund. Like, there's literally too many to mention. People, we're at the stage now where people are coming to us to offer the help, and we haven't got to go begging. It's absolutely super.
No, fantastic, and it's a credit to the work, especially for something that's set up before COVID and having to overcome all that as well. Again, just talking to Michelle and Joanne before the break, like social prescribers there, and they're playing a huge role in linking people with maybe something they've always thought about doing but were afraid to ask or afraid to reach out to a group as well. They've an opportunity for anyone who wants to explore Irish music for Tradfest. So what would you say to people if they're kind of playing with the idea of either reconnecting with Irish music or maybe picking up something for the first time?
Just take the plunge. I was actually one of those people myself. I had a couple of lessons as a child, maybe younger than these guys here, and didn't play again until I was 25, and took the plunge when I was 25 and literally haven't looked back. It's a great community of people to be involved in. I've never met anyone that wasn't dead sound in the trad community, and you see it here. These guys are, well, hi G guys.
Starting out.
14. I'm 40, and when I go to the sessions I play with lads that are 70 or 80, so like, it's a lifelong thing that you have. You can travel the world with it.
And across ages. It's like, anybody, from young to old. And I believe your young fella there plays as well out in
he does,
Dora
yeah.
So,
and I think he's doing one of the workshops thing on the yellow on pipes as well, so he's mad up for it,
And it's great to see kids like that coming into town as well, and and they'll make lifelong friends as well.
Well, it gets the parents out as well, which is a rare thing too, anyway.
It's brilliant,
TullamoreTradFest.com is the website, and you can get tickets through that as well. Folks, what are you going to play us out with? Undoubtedly something fairly lively, yeah?
2 jigs.
2 jigs, right. Biomar, is that how you pronounce it? Biover, Irish for lively, and you'll understand why. So playing us out here in Saturday View. They're just back from a stint in the National Concert Hall and they'll be appearing at Tullamore Tradfest. It's the weekend of the 12th of April. Take it away, guys. Woo! Excellent. There you go. Biovar appearing now again at Offaly or Tullamore Tradfest coming up from the 12th of April, and that is just a snippet of the incredible music that you can see on the day. There's workshops, there's going to be different events at Session Trail across the town for the weekend, and as Brian and Joe have taken us through there, kind of really no reason why you can't get involved. Stick it in the diary, come in, and you'll be absolutely amazed, and undoubtedly you'll learn a thing or two as well. That's bringing us to a close for Saturday View for today. Just a big thank you to all this morning's contributors, to Michelle Quinn and Joanne Naughton there, two social prescribers, and I think that was a very useful conversation, because a bit like what we've just spoken about with Tradfest there, it shows you that there are groups, there's activities out there that are happening, and it's easy to say there's nothing going on in our towns, our villages, our communities. There's actually an awful lot of stuff going on, and the more we can connect people with those, and all these groups have open arms really, they're welcoming people in, they're looking for more members, and they're looking for people just to help continue, be it the tradition or the skill or whatever it might be that group is promoting and doing. And you can have great fun doing so and make great friends as well. And thanks also to James Burke from Mullingar Chamber, talking about the Mullingar Chamber gift cards. 2.5 million kept in the local economy since 2012 on that scheme, and now launched again with a new digital offering with 0% commission for members, for members who are, or for businesses who are members of Mullingar Chamber. Like, that's a huge incentive too, and a great project. So thank you to everybody. I suppose before we wrap up, we better say a happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and mammies across the Midlands, and a special thought too for all the people who are missing a mother when Mother's Day comes, and to mothers who are missing a child or a baby or some, a member of their family as well for Mother's Day. All have to be thought of, and we are thinking of you all. That's it. Lorraine McCormick is down in the Bridge Centre on an outside broadcast. She'll be coming to you live from there after the news. I'll talk to you all on Tuesday, taking care of business, 7 p.m. Take care and see you then.